slowed down to 35 for that one. Let's see if she stays here. True. And she did it. Oh, but she kicked off. Welcome back to Real Life Tesla. This is a new update that we received tonight, and it is 2021.4.10. And I just finished taping the 2021.4.6, and so I'm updating it tonight, and tomorrow morning I'll be able to take it out and give it a test and see if we can see any differences between the two softwares. As usual, I go through all of the different settings and check to see if there's anything new and exciting, and I didn't find anything, so I'm assuming that there was an issue and they had to make a pretty quick change to it, and so once they made the change, they sent out this new update. So we're going to take it for a ride in the morning. Hopefully you'll stick with us, and we have the new track, and so let's see how it goes. Okay, well, good morning. We are back with version 2021.4.10. We got the update last night, and we installed it right after we did the filming of 2021.4.6. So this will be a fresh look right after 4.6, so hopefully we'll be able to compare some notes pretty well. We're going to expand our track today and try to find some more curves and interactions that will make it a little bit more difficult for the Tesla to accomplish her tasks. So here we go. We are going to follow mostly the same route, except we're going to have a little bit more back roads as well. And the update is, we saw last night, minor bug fixes, so I don't know that we're going to get a whole lot of different interaction, but we're going to see how she handles the roads. It's a little bit warmer today. My regenerative braking is working a little bit harder, so that's nice. While I was setting up the cameras, I actually navigated to a supercharger so that we could warm it up a little bit faster. So here we go. We're going to engage. We're in a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit, as we talked about yesterday. I have it set for 10% over what is on the speed limit signs, so 10%, 4.5, rounded up to the nearest mile per hour, which gives us 5, and that's why our cruise control is set for 50. Now, if you're new to the channel, this here blue steering wheel will tell you whether the car is driving or whether I am driving. If I do any kind of input, like move the steering wheel or touch the brake, this steering wheel will go gray, and that means that I am driving. If you see it blue, that means Tessie is driving. If you see the double blue lines here, that is auto steer, or autopilot as some of them call it, and it is not set up to do city streets on full self-drive. Once that goes to a single line, which we'll show you a little bit later, that means she is on navigate on autopilot. Now this is where we're going to make a little change for you that are familiar with North County. To the left here is Jamestown Mall, and I understand they may finally have a buyer for it. It shut down in 2014, and they might have somebody who's willing to put a little money into it and make it better. Alright, so let's turn on our autopilot. Now see, it's set at 45. As soon as that's we pass that speed limit sign, it changes to 35, which reduced our cruise control speed to 40 miles an hour. I thought that was a little different. You notice it went to 40, but if I pull down and hold the gear stock for just a split second, it will adjust that to what she's supposed to have. And because we are 10%, 3.5 would round it to 4 on 35, gives us 39, which is where we're at now. All right, here she is. Look at her slow down to 33 to go around this corner, and she stayed in the lines. Excellent job, and very impressed with that. She's climbing back up to the 39. Now here we have almost a right-hand turn. As you can see, the speed limit up a little bit over. Will she correct? She did correct, but this is why you need to make sure you pay attention. Now that was extremely sharp hand turn, and the recommended speed was 15 miles an hour. So she probably would have done a little bit better to slow down a little bit more. And I'm loving this new track. It's given a whole lot more. She slowed down to 35 for that one. Let's see if she stays here. True, true, true. And she did it. Oh, but she kicked off. But that was a tough one after 2 complete turns in a row. Let's kick her back in. And she did that. She brought it down to 25. This will give her much better testing today than yesterday. Yesterday seems like a walk in the park compared to what we have today. This is great. I'm glad I made the adjustment. We'll be able to see how she handles back roads a whole lot better on this particular update. Another sharp turn. Slowing down, perfectly centered. Great job, great job. I'm excited. So this is pretty impressive. A lot of these turns are down to 15 miles an hour, and she is slowing down to accommodate these turns. So here we have another right-left combination, 25 miles an hour. It'd be nice if she could read those signs, but here we go. She's not slowed down yet. Now she's slowing down. I can feel it. Oh, I had to hold my breath on that one. Perfectly done. Can't say much more than that. Some pretty cool houses back here. I wish you could see them, but I need to make sure that I stay focused on the road as we're having all of these turns back here in the back of Florissant. So here's a trash truck that we'll meet. Perfectly centered in the road and the aisles. And we have some street trucks coming up in front of us. We'll see how she interacts with them. But I have to say, other than that one, she went over the line just a little bit. And the one where I had to take over, she's done very, very well. So here's a little S curve. She's still maintaining her 39 miles an hour. And now she's slowing down for the trucks in front of us. So exciting that she has done so well, much better than previous versions I've seen. And so hopefully these were some of the improvements that came into effect in the 2021.4.10. We have our distance set at 2, so it's giving us a little bit of space back here between us and the vehicle in front of us. These dump trucks often will extend my following distance simply for the fact that okay, so here we're complete stop. I hit the gear stock one time and she proceeds. So what I was saying is I normally increase my distance behind dump trucks so that when rocks fall off, they don't have a tendency to hit the car. Although we're going pretty slow, it doesn't look like they have gravel in this truck. So let's push it back to 3 and see how she does. There's 3 of these trucks, I believe, here in front of us, so I'm not sure where they're going. It'd be nice if they make a right-hand turn, although we're coming up to the turn that I really wanted to test her out on, and I was hoping that nobody would be in our way. So now she's come to a complete stop. I can't see around them. This is a section of New Jamestown Road that when I was in high school back in 1980, there was a group of kids. One was becoming a new mother, and they came from the opposite direction on a school night, speeding through here, hit the bank, went up on the bank, came back down, and crossed over the road and hit head on with the tree, and we lost all 5 of them that night. I think it was 5 or 6. All right, so she is stopped, so let's give her a confirmation. All right, we've got a trash truck. Will she move over a little bit? She did not, but the truck was on the other side of the yellow lines, and so she was able to make it through. So a little bit of a hold up here. We'll see how we get through. So they came through and hit that tree right there. As they came across this bank, it pushed them across the road. They were going way too fast, drunk on a school night when they should have been home in bed, getting ready for school the next day. And unfortunately, we lost them all. So it's a little tough back here. So it is a great test for Tessie to see how she can do. All right. So looks like, well, we have an oncoming car here. I don't know if we can work our way around them, but she's handling all of this. She's braking and stopping, accelerating as needed. All right, so now she's going to stop. Because this truck is in our lane, she will not go around them. This is not full self-drive beta. If that was the case, she would have gone around. But in this case, she did not. And this is a left-hand turn, which we would have had to have made on our own. But I would have liked to have seen how she would have treated that if she would have come to the stop or if she would have gone on. So hopefully they're going to make a right here and go, yep, good. And they're going on to Sioux Passage, probably do some work back by the river. And we will continue straight here and get around them. This is the 3rd trash truck I've seen. All right. So as soon as we get the, oh, all right. Yeah, not that you needed to wait your turn, but that's okay. So now we have the steering wheel. We'll put her back into full self-drive, and we'll see how she goes from here. Now this is actually going to come up here to the roundabout that we did in our last video. So from this roundabout on, we'll have some of the same roads, a little bit different time of day, so we'll see a little bit different traffic. Pretty sharp turn. It says slow down to 25. There she goes. She's slowing down a little bit there. Little fast for my taste, but she is staying inside the road. Slowed down there a little bit more, and she pulled it off. So a nice day. It's 47. It's supposed to get up into the 50s, I believe, today. So a good day for a drive and a little bit of test, and we'll see how she does the rest of this way. Nicely moving over, staying in between the lanes. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, I would ask that you would do so to help us be able to get the videos out to others. And if you see something that you like in here, hit like. Please comment down below if there's something you would like us to practice, to test, or whatever. As you know, with the yield signs, they treat it as a stop sign. I'll hit the accelerator, and she kicked it off. We know that she's not programmed for roundabouts, so it's okay, but we'll just see how she does. Got our wheel back, and we're back into autopilot. So as you can see, for other than left-hand turns, right-hand turns, or unexpected roundabouts, she drives most of the time for me, 95%, if not more. Even on back roads like this, I'll put her and let her drive, and it really takes a lot of load off of the mind. I like to sightsee a little bit, and so when she's able to monitor the car in front of me a little bit, it gives me a little bit of confidence that she's looking out for my back. So we've got a stop sign coming up here, a couple cars in front, so this will be good. We'll see if she'll move up until she's first in line, and then once she becomes first in line, we should have to give her the confirmation with the gear stock to proceed. So first car goes through, St. Louis County's finest. That car proceeded, we move up. Now once we come to a complete stop, then I will acknowledge that it's her turn, and off she goes. Not once did she take off of the auto steer, and she was doing all of that. She just wanted confirmation to go through the intersection. So if you're not driving on even autopilot or auto steer, whatever you'd like to call it, in your car, because that is standard in all the Teslas, I really think that you're missing out. Even on the highway, she won't go around slower traffic, but you know, you could go all the way to Kansas City without ever touching this, taking her off, touching the steering wheel, I say, meaning that you're taking over. Now here's Halls Ferry. We're going to make a left here, and we'll see if we make it through this light. Great peace of mind. I don't think there's a better system out there in the ones that I've seen, the videos that I've seen, than what Tesla has, and it's standard with the car. I am a big fan of the full self-driving package. Gives us a lot of extra little things. If I wanted to change lanes, I simply do it with a click of the turn signal, and I don't have to take her out of control, and she'll continue to go on autopilot as long as we want her to. So we're going to get up here on Lindbergh when we'll go through all of the stoplights again, let her interact with the traffic, and then towards the end we'll do the clover leaves again and see if anything has changed in this new update as far as clover leaves go. I really wish yesterday I'd driven the route that we did today with 4.6. We could have seen how she had handled those really sharp turns different than we did today. And it's hard to find a way to do it better than what she did today, other than those two instances, which those were difficult, and she just needed to slow down a little bit more. So some of the other videos on our channel will prep you on things to be aware of when you're driving on autopilot or navigate on autopilot. So here I can put on my right turn signal because there was a dotted line. She moved over all by herself. She slowed, came to a stop just as she's supposed to. You see the red line here, that's the line where she'll need to be stopped at when she's first in line, and all of the stoplights are displayed as well. So some of our other videos, as I was mentioning, she's programmed to handle certain things, and she's programmed not to handle certain things. And so if you're aware of those, you can be mindful of what's going on. Well, she tried, and so I was wanting to see how far she'd go. Got our steering wheel, and we're off. you can drive a whole lot more safely, and you can enjoy it a whole lot more if you know what to look for and what she is prepared to do. So this stoplight she handles well. One confirmation and she goes. If you watched the video yesterday, you saw the other flashlight. It blinked a lot slower, and she needed a couple of confirmations to get through that one. But when they blink faster like this, she recognizes them as a blinking yellow, and with one confirmation she'll go through. So here we are at a stoplight, and as we discussed yesterday, if you're behind another car at a stoplight, she will actually go through the stoplight following the car in front of you. If she does not, then you'll have to give her the confirmation to go on. Perfectly coming to a stop, just like she is designed, and you really don't have to do much until it comes time to make a turn. The hazard of this is if you're not paying a whole lot of attention, sometimes you can go past your turn, even if you're on navigate, because she doesn't make the right turns. She'll stay in the lane and keep going straight as far as she wants to, or as long as you let her to. Not a whole lot of traffic out today. We've got 3 cars ahead of us or so. Lindbergh through here can get really heavy with traffic, and sometimes it can take you twice to get through this light. But today we're doing well. So as you can see here, she adjusted to the speed limit of the road, but she didn't adjust to the additional 10% that she's programmed to. So a simple pull down, hold, and she adjusts to the 10% over, like I ever set. So somewhere when I intervened, it kicked her out of her cycle of adjusting, and that's how you reboot it, to say, is simply pull down, hold it for a second, and she'll restart. So I apologize for the last video. The sound was not working through the microphone, so I tested it today before we got started, and it seems to work just fine. And my second GoPro here on the face view, it actually kicked off again, but I think I got it started, and hopefully it will give us video for the rest of the way. Now she says stopping for traffic light, even though she could not see that traffic light. So she's reading a little bit off of maps on where they're located, but she followed the car in front of us through. Perfect. Now as this car moves over, sometimes she will not go through that intersection. This time she did, of course, but if you're far enough away and that car moves over, and then the gap between the car in front of you and yourself is too great, then she'll actually try to come to a stop at the stoplight until you give her a confirmation that it's clear to proceed. So she should take us all the way through. Got another green line, so she's going to go through this one as well. Remember, we had 3, so let's turn it back to 2. That way the gap will close a little bit between us and the car in front of us, and we'll be less likely to stop at these lights as we go. Once that car clears the lane, then she'll take off. And if you're not familiar with Florissant, there is a great little restaurant right over here to our left in Florissant called, if she's gonna stop, we got a red line, so confirmation, and turns green and she'll proceed, called Cannolis. It's a little Italian restaurant. It's built up with storefronts in it, and the food is good, reasonably priced. So if you're ever up here in Florissant, Cannolis is a great little restaurant that my wife and I like to enjoy. So I like having the percentage increase over this current speed limit, because here nobody, hey, shout out to the Model X up here on our right hand side. In this case, in the city driving, we're 4 miles over. Chances are a policeman's not going to pull you over and give you a ticket. If I had gone 5 or 10 miles over and had a set miles over the speed limit, it could be trying to do 50, I could potentially get a ticket. So by using the percentage on the slower streets, it gives you a smaller increase, versus on the highway at 6 miles an hour, chances are they're not going to pull you over at 6 either. So you kind of walk the line, but you give it. So let's see if the Model X sees us. Good looking car. All right, so we got a green light. We're behind the car, the line turns green, and we're off. All right, so we're getting up here close to 270. We're gonna need to get into the right-hand lane. So let's turn on the turn signal. The gap was there, and she took it immediately. And that's the difference that I was explaining to you about, was if you're on autopilot, you hit that turn signal, if there's room, she'll go immediately. Versus if you're on navigate on autopilot and you want to switch over, you put on the turn signal, it takes her 5 times before she'll make that. Now, here's a great one before she'll make the turn. So we had a green light. She gave me the ding saying that the light's green. I gave her confirmation, and as soon as I did that, the light turned red. So Tessie overrode my confirmation because she saw a yellow light and she came to a stop. So she's looking out for me, and it worked well. So our highway driving here is fairly short. It's just a couple minutes. We'll have one cloverleaf here and then one cloverleaf at the end of the video. And I'll show you how to be able to maneuver this, make this maneuver, because she's really not programmed to do it from highway to a city street, which will be the next one. This one here, because we're on auto steer, she cannot make the changeover. So it takes a little bit of intervention on both, but not bad, and I'll show you how to do that. And why, you know, you could take her off and make the turn yourself, but I don't like to disengage and re-engage frequently, so I let her try to do as much as she can, as often as she can. And if the least amount of input I give her, the happier I am. And that's what it's all about. I didn't buy the car for necessarily its looks. I bought the car for its technology. So now as we get here, I'm gonna turn on the turn signal. As soon as that solid white line turns dash, she'll make her change. Now she's in the exit ramp for the cloverleaf. She's slowing down, even though the speed limit's set for 44. She slowed down to 29 to make the turn, and this has all been her. All I had to do was turn on the turn signal, and now we're waiting for her to switch over but I don't have an address set in, so I have to turn the turn signal on. She gets over. She's adjusted the speed limit to the new speed limit at 60 and gave her 10% over, so she's at 66, and we're off and running. And with auto steer, she'll stay in this lane forever. She'll monitor the traffic in front of you and slow down as she needs to, and then speed back up to the traffic or you're set there. So now you can see she's slowing down. So I'm gonna put in, that's why. So let's go here, let's go to home, I'll shed that. And once she kicks in, there we go. Now she'll go around the slower traffic. So now you'll see we have a solid line, which is navigate on autopilot, and she will monitor the car in front of her. If that car, and I have it set to average, so if that car will slow down, or that truck in this case, close to 5 miles an hour, she'll then put on the turn signal, get in the left lane and go around that vehicle. She's also monitoring this car here, and then once she passes the vehicle, if there's a car behind you, and that was a change in a few updates back, was she won't necessarily jump out of the passing lane unless there is a car behind her. If she detects a car is coming up from behind her and there's a gap, she'll then move over, and helps reduce the jumping into the passing lane out of it back and forth when you're in more complete traffic. So let's see how she does here. So we're down to 62. We have a gap. Will she go? Nope, this car is sped up enough to where the gap shrunk and she's not able to get over. But we're still only at 3 miles difference, and so she's going to be content here so that she's not jumping back and forth from lane to lane. Now we have two separate constructions going here, one at Washington Elizabeth. A lot of times during the day they close this left lane, but either way they have a shift with the lanes going over. And this car has come up, which is why you see red here, even though she wants to get over. And then another car is coming right behind her. So they don't have it closed today, but you'll see the lines here. Whoops. And that car come flying doing about 80. And she got back into her lane as that car was coming up faster than she felt comfortable. So now she'll get over into the other lane and she'll go back up to her set speed. So she handled those crazy drivers, I think, very well. She wanted to get over. The car thought that she owned the highway and she could go 90 miles an hour. And so once she started to turn, realized that she came up. I could turn on the rear cameras here. You can see we were in the passing lane. As soon as this car got close to us, she then got out of the passing lane to be a courteous driver. We got another one coming up here, but we're able to do our speed limit. Now about a mile up here we have our last construction, but it kind of is spread out a little bit. It's actually, they're still replacing one of the bridges, and they're building a new bridge, which I have no idea where it's going to go. And so it's got some lane shifts, some solid white lines, and she's programmed right now not to cross the white lines. However, if she gets stuck in this lane, she won't be able to make our exit, and we've been caught a couple times like that. However, lately she's been doing really well getting over into that right lane before the white lanes start, and she's able to make her turn and exit this highway. So we're going to see how she does here. So this is the bridge that has a lane shift to it. The doing a nice job on these bridges. They're just taking forever to do it. Now we're 1.4 miles. This is where I would feel comfortable with her shifting over, especially when there's little traffic. She'll make it through this just fine. And then I'm hoping she'll make her lane change before we get into the white lanes going forward. So there she wants to make her change. There's a car coming up. She's got time. If she'd go now, she would be able to make it. But see, now she's caught herself. She's in the white lines and she can't get over to make her turn. And this is the problem that I have with it, is that she had plenty of room to do so. She decided to wait, and now that we're in the white lines, she cannot make her change into the other lane. And so I'm going to have to intervene in order to make her able to get over. So now she's going to try, but this car is not going to let her. Will she do it? Maybe she will. Nope, now she went to navigate on, or to auto steer, and she can't make her changes. So this would have worked the same way as the last one. Even though she was on navigate on autopilot, she comes off right before the ramp. And so I have to turn the turn signal on for her to get into the cloverleaf. This highway that we're merging on down to our left has stoplights. And so this is treated as a city street. And she will not do navigate on autopilot. She will just do the steer. But then again, this is what I use her for on a daily basis. She's on auto steer, as you can tell with the 2 solid lines. She's driving. Speed limit's 55. She automatically adjusted to 61. And we'll take this all the way up to our exit. So I'm going to sign off for you here, because this won't be anything exciting, nothing that we haven't done many times. I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe and hit the bell so that you can be notified for future videos. We have a great track set up now. Each update that Tesla comes out with, we'll do this same track so that you can see how she improves from time to time. And also got a video coming up from when I went camping. I bought a mattress set that works in the back. Saves you from building a tent. Saves you from buying a hotel room if you're on a road trip. Worked out well. I can't wait to get that one up for you. And we're going to have one with a variety of different summons. What she can do and what she can't do, and why she can't do it. We'll explain that in the videos coming up. So please hit subscribe and leave a comment in the bottom, even if it is just a hello. Lets us know that you're watching. If you see something that you want us to film, something you want us to include, be glad to go out and make that video. Got a little bit of time on my hands as I'm in the market for a new job, and we'll try to get it together for you. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.